Folks, welcome to Tavern Chat, your daily cast in the OSR. And I know I have an obsession with uh, numbers, statistics. It goes to my training when I was in law enforcement. And numbers don't always tell the story. You have to interpret them, you have to look at them. And if you look at the chart in front of you, it's up on the screen, and I know it's small. My side monitor is in the vertical position because it won't fit as a horizontal, and it's how I read my PDFs, and that's the orientation you get when I do the screen share. But what is in blue is the numbers for the first week of June, the 1st to the 7th, or the first 7 days of June, and the numbers in purple, the graph in purple, is from the first week of June. So here's the first week of July in blue, first week of June in purple. Why is that important? Well, I wanted to do these 7-day comparisons because I don't want to compare to the middle of June or the end of June because we got the share out from Dungeon Craft / Professor Dungeon Master. We had the Trove video get picked up by Google and came up on a lot of searches. And we had the whole TSR 3.0 drama kicking off. So this is a bit more of a pure comparison. But the pure numbers are great. I mean, we're looking at over almost a 5 times increase in traffic. And that's not even peak traffic. We peaked at much higher than that. This is like the new ground floor, which I'm happy about. But what I find to be interesting is the old numbers. The U.S. was almost 71% of the traffic. Canada was just over 3%. UK was about 1.6, and nothing else even hit the charts. It was overwhelmingly U.S. Now, U.S. is 44% of the traffic, yet still 3 times as much U.S. traffic as it was prior. So the increases aren't just across the board. It's in the U.S. too. But Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Brazil, France, Australia, Italy, it does go on beyond that. I just didn't want too big a screenshot. So we've increased our viewership immensely, but we've also broadened our viewership. And I think that's important because, as I'm going to show with the next screenshot, forgive me for a sec as I put it up. Oh, it's on the bottom of the screen, ready to go up. Let me get it up there. Okay, so again, purple is the first week of June. Blue is the first week of July. You notice that first column where it's blue up against nothing. That's the 18 to 24. We now have a viewership of about 8.5% of viewers that are that 18 to 24 age. And I've been talking, how do we get the younger folks into old school gaming? And listen, this isn't a zero-sum proposition. You can play 5e, you can play Call of Cthulhu, you can play Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and still play old school games. It isn't an all or nothing. There's this mental issue with some people. It's like, we can't have these kids come in, they're going to ruin the game. No, we can't have the kids come in, they're not going to ruin the game. But they'll bring their own experiences to the game, their own expectations. There will be an adjustment, that's for sure. But this is how you keep youth in the game. Now, I don't have numbers, it's all percentages, but I can tell you, since we know that our traffic for, I guess, the U.S. tripled, right? But still looked like it went down as a share of the higher on the prior graph. We're looking here, and our prior big area was 45 to 54. I land right at the top end of that, right? I'll be 54 end of this month. That was 73% of our viewership. It's been cut nearly in half as a percentage to 39%. But remember, we've increased our actual viewership over 4-fold. So really, what that's saying is the numbers have doubled. okay, in that age group. But as a share, it has shrunk. And it has shrunk because we've added younger viewers. If anything, we apparently have, well, probably we lost as a share older viewers in the 55 to 64, but still that's an increase, even though it's a loss of a share. Again, how do you get people interested in the OSR? You have to stop being insular. Okay, you have to be open to adding people into it. This kids get off my fucking lawn bullshit has to end. All right, it seriously does, because I don't want old school gaming to end when the quote grognards start passing. Right, that first generation of gamers are already up there. They're up there in their 60s and their 70s. I would consider myself generation, I guess, 1.5. Right? I came in at the end of the 70s. RPGs started in the early 70s. So I'm toward that tail end. I wasn't one of the groundbreakers. I came in with AD&D. Wish I'd come in with basic, but it is what it is, you know. But this is evidence in my mind. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're younger than I am. All right? There's a good chance that you did not start playing Dungeons and Dragons with basic or AD&D or second edition. You started with fifth. Good chance of that. And now old school gaming is an interest to you. TotalCon 2 years ago. So this would mean, a year and a half ago, 2020. Right before COVID hit. I had a group I was running Swords and Wizardry for. And it was a group that was a 5e group. It was a home group. There was a table of, I think, 6, and 5 of them all were from the same home group. And they wanted to try out old school gaming. And that's a great way to do it. Conventions are a great way to introduce players to it. There's the second time I had a 5e group at an old school Swords and Wizardry table. It's the second time I had a 5e group. The first time, they didn't expect me. They were expecting to play 5e. So think about that. All right? These people they enjoyed themselves. They embraced it. There's nothing scary about bringing people into the OSR unless you're afraid of sharing. And since there's not a limited pool of material, it is literally limitless. All right? It's not like more old school gamers are going to mean that you can't get a seat at a table. It just means there'll be more tables to get a seat at. Okay? That's really it. I think that the numbers show it. I mean, getting exposure to a larger audience has retained younger players, younger individuals interested in old school gaming. And I think that is huge. And I'm happy to see that. So if you are a younger gamer and this is one of the ways you're being exposed to old school gaming, welcome. As the summer goes on, I'll be preparing stuff for my original game group, people all in their 50s, all of us old folks. And we're going to try to play like it was when we were in our 20s. No, sort of like it was when we were in our 20s. I've learned a lot since then. But it's going to be interesting because this is a gaming group that, yes, we have moved on. For years, we were playing EverQuest 2, Anarchy Online, City of Heroes, Warhammer Online, all these other MMOs, and now we're going to go back to our roots, and we're going to see if it works. And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you can't go home again, or maybe you can. But home changes. That's fine, too. The OSR changes. We don't play. I don't DM now like I did back in the 80s. I've changed. Life has changed me. We look back at the old school gaming. It's like, well, we're here to preserve old school gaming as it was. No, we're not. We're not. That's not what we're doing. We are reinventing old school gaming for the present. That's why these games are all rewritten to be more clarified and clearer, and that's why they're popular. You know, we didn't necessarily know better when we were younger. Yes, I have great love for my AD&D 1 ebooks. My God, I spent hours, days, months reading that shit, cover to cover, backwards and forwards, and still missed stuff. But it doesn't mean that they couldn't be improved upon. And they have been. And that's what modern OSR is. Okay? It's taking those original rules and presenting them in a way that somebody from today can comfortably fit into them. So this will be part of the conversation that goes on throughout the summer. Again, thank you for joining me on this ride. Please subscribe. We're looking to get, I'm hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Heck, I think that's pretty much a guarantee. I'd like to see us get there before the end of the summer. We could theoretically possibly get there before the end of July if we keep the rates up. I'd love to see that. If we do, I'll do something even more spectacular than just giving away $500 in drive-through RPG Now. Well, it's no longer RPG Now. Drive-through gift certificates. I said I did that at 1,000. I thought I wouldn't be doing it at the end of the year. End of the summer, quite likely. Sorry, I got pounding on the desk. End of this month, quite possibly. And if we do it by the end of July, I'll add some extra into the pot. Again, subscribe, like, ask. I've put this out there already. I'm looking for suggestions for topics to cover. I do these days I don't have live streams. You get at least one episode up. Live streams, you get the live stream, maybe another episode. I do live streams 3 days a week with my different partners in crime. So ask your questions. We are still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. So what do I ask? I ask one thing. Use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless you all. Roll those dice, roll them well, and and a little comment to those that are looking to troll 10-car for. Apparently, I have the ability to give people 7-day bans on the internet because somebody has given me godlike powers that even Facebook doesn't have. But if I don't have those powers, and for those of you wearing those tinfoil hats that think I do have those powers, God bless you. I know the mental health facilities are not the best these days, but you know, maybe a healthcare professional can get you the medication that you need. All right, folks. On that note, ladies, I hear the rain coming in.